The grave lay under the shade of a sprawling oak tree, its surface adorned with fresh flowers. Next to it stood a majestic black horse, its mane flowing gently in the wind. The horse's eyes glistened with a deep sorrow, and its hooves barely moved from the spot. For days it had refused to leave, even as the winter chill swept across the countryside. Villagers whispered among themselves, curious and puzzled. Why was the horse so attached to this particular grave? 3 years earlier, the horse named Midnight had been nothing more than a frail colt abandoned on the edge of a forest. It was Thomas, a kind-hearted farmer, who had found it trembling with fear and hunger. Thomas, who had recently lost his wife, saw a kindred spirit in the horse. "You and I," he had said softly, "we're both lost, but maybe we can find our way together." Midnight became his companion, a source of comfort in his loneliness. Under Thomas's care, Midnight blossomed into a strong, graceful creature. They shared countless moments, Thomas teaching the horse to gallop across fields, resting under the same oak tree, and silently watching sunsets together. Midnight became more than just a pet. It was a part of Thomas's soul. But life had other plans. One fateful morning, as Thomas was tending to his fields, a sudden pain gripped his chest. Clutching his heart, he collapsed. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Thomas was buried under the oak tree, the very place where he had often rested with Midnight. From the day of the burial, Midnight's behavior changed drastically. It broke free from its stable and made its way to the grave. At first, the villagers thought it was a one-time occurrence, but days turned into weeks, and Midnight remained by the grave, refusing food and shelter. The villagers' curiosity turned to concern. They began observing the horse more closely. One night, an elderly man named George decided to keep watch. What he saw left him in awe. At midnight, the horse began to dig softly at the grave with its hooves, as if trying to uncover something. Tears welled up in its eyes, and a soft whinny escaped its lips, almost like a lament. George couldn't understand what drove Midnight to act this way, but he knew there was more to this story. When the villagers checked the stable, they found an old leather bag Thomas had left. Inside were letters addressed to Midnight. One letter revealed the bond they shared. Thomas had written, "Dear Midnight, if you ever find this, know that you were my greatest solace in a life filled with sorrow. You gave me purpose when I had none. You are not just a horse. You are my family. Promise me no matter what happens that you will stay strong. Your friend, Thomas." The villagers read the letter aloud at the grave. As if understanding every word, Midnight let out a long, sorrowful neigh, tears streaming from its eyes. Seeing the horse's devotion, the villagers decided to honor Thomas and Midnight's bond. They built a small shelter near the grave and made sure Midnight was cared for. Midnight's story became a symbol of loyalty and unconditional love. Visitors from far and wide came to see the horse that wouldn't leave its owner's side. The story reminds us that love knows no boundaries, not even those of species. In a world often marred by division, Midnight and Thomas's tale teaches us the beauty of unwavering loyalty and the deep connections we can share. Let Midnight's tale inspire you to cherish your loved ones, human or animal. And perhaps the next time you see a stray or a creature in need, you'll remember Midnight and Thomas and extend a hand of kindness.